Ahora sí, ¡pum! Es toma número 2 y tengo que decirlo porque al primero hubo un Safis Welvis. Bienvenidos al episodio número 1 en inglés, presentado en español al inicio por Vic PodcasTV. Quiero darles la bienvenida a este episodio que es el número 1 oficialmente en inglés. Como les digo, el formato de este podcast es en español, por eso nos vamos a dar la tarea de poner subtítulos todo el resto de este episodio y en los respectivos clips. Yo soy Master Big D.O.G. y bueno, como vieron, nos dedicamos a hacer diferentes tipos de confrontaciones, pero también somos un canal de televisión a nuestro presupuesto y alcance. Hoy tenemos un tema especial. Mi Tori, tírame por favor a la pantalla. Hoy tenemos el segmento Hablemos de Cine, de mi sensei, Jorge Elías. ¿Quién es Jorge Elías? ¿Por qué le digo sensei? Yo lo considero un cinta negra. Cinta coral, ¿qué digo? Cinta negra, chingado. Cinta coral. En cuestión de cine, él tuvo este programa por muchos años en Univisión con 6.5 puntos de rating, más arriba que Don Francisco, y él es un experto en cine. Yo voy a tratar de indagar temas diferentes donde me interesa aprender cosas de los chingones. Así es que primero quiero decirles a ustedes que vean estas escenas, por favor, y díganme si saben qué tienen en común. Atención, Tori, córreme el video, por favor. Ahí, Tori, porque quiero que me cuente después un poco más. ¿Saben qué tienen en común todas esas películas, esas escenas? Que tuvieron un mismo coordinador de acción en escenas con dobles, a quien hoy tengo el honor de poder entrevistar y tener aquí en el estudio de Master Podcast TV, JJ Loco Perry. Welcome, brother. How are you doing? Switching to English now.
Let's do it.
Sorry it takes so long.
All good, bro.
How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm super stoked to be here on your show. Super stoked to be in El Paso, man.
That's my number one question. When I was doing some research about how impressive your career has been, but What brought you to El Paso? What are you doing in El Paso? Let's begin with that.
So I have a couple of my Army buddies here. We're having like an all-Army Taekwondo team reunion. We were all teammates in the 80s. I got out. I was in from 86 to 90. But my brothers stayed in. I was stationed with Reggie over here. We were stationed together in Korea for a year, and then again in Fort Ord, California for another year until I got out in 89. My other teammate, Jody. There's a whole bunch of us here, so it's been cool to catch up. Ain't seen some of the brothers in a long time. I'm still the best looking one. I might not be able to fight the best, but I'm still the best looking one for sure. And yeah.
How do you like El Paso?
Dude, I love El Paso, man. I mean, I've been here so many.
I love it too. I'm just curious.
I've always been lucky in this town. When I was a kid, I competed in tournaments here, and I always got my hand raised. Like New Orleans, never got my hand raised.
You know, my best memories of competing is El Paso is my first tournament. Yeah. I love that city.
Me too. And like I'll use New Orleans as an example of like worst case scenario. Not only could I not get my hand raised there, but I got arrested there for eating and then dining, like bailing after I dine and dash. But then I slipped in somebody's puke, and the cops hooked me up, and I got arrested. So El Paso is a version of this for me, which is like always best case scenario. Oh, great food, great people. You know, being from Texas myself, it's still, you know, everything's very familiar, and yeah, just a big fan in general.
How's this tradition with you and your buddies meeting like?
Well, this is actually the first time in 32 years for me, because I've been busy. But they do it almost every year, right? Yeah, no, but you know, I'm on the road. You know how it goes.
32 years.
Yeah, well, they don't invite me because I'm better looking than they are.
Come on, guys. Don't be those guys. You're going to see them later. They're right here. We'll talk about it later.
Right on. But yeah, it's been really cool to catch up, you know.
It's better now than ever.
That's right. That's right.
So you have big plans coming soon, but I don't want to talk about that right now because I want to share there's a lot of audience watcher, a lot. Right. I was expecting 10. We're more than 10 right now so far in Mexico and Latin America. How goes your Spanish?
Maybe not great. I understand more than I can speak.
Poquito? Muy poquito? Casi nada? Almost nothing?
No, it's okay.
Born and raised where?
In Stafford, Texas.
Stafford, Texas. And then moved to where?
So I was back and forth from Kentucky to Texas as a kid, moving from grandparents to grandparents. Joined the Army in 1986. Stationed in Korea. Out-processed from California. Went down to L.A. from Monterey to get in the movie business. Strangely, when I was stationed up there, we were competing all the time, and I went down to LA to compete in a tournament. And I was probably 22, and I was competing a bit against a bunch of guys, and they were like my size. I was like, dude, but he's got nice shoes and a nice truck. I was like, you must be a drug dealer. He goes, no, I'm a stuntman. I said, I want to do that, you know, like, what do you sign me up? And that's kind of how it all started, you know.
How do you compete in El Paso? Like driving from there, from Texas, like we are kind of neighbors? How far is from here?
To LA?
Your city. No, your city.
Stafford?
When you used to compete as a kid.
Oh, we're not far. Like downtown El Paso, like was it the university? Compete at university.
No, but
the stadium.
When you used to compete here, where you used to live?
Oh, in Stafford, in Houston.
Stafford.
Houston. Yeah.
And you hear about these tournaments in El Paso? You used to drive or fly here?
Oh yeah, like you know, I don't know if you know, but I started martial arts. I started Taekwondo in 1975, and in the 70s there wasn't a lot of options. Like, listen, we have watched martial arts evolve in the last 32 years since MMA got put on TV. We've watched it evolve more than it's evolved in 500 years in the last 32 years. But before MMA was televised, if you wanted to go fight somewhere, you couldn't just look on YouTube or go on the internet. You had to go figure it out and go find places. Like, you couldn't look at tapes of people fight. Nobody had VHS. I mean, you had to be rich to have a VHS recorder back then, VHS. So it was very prominent to go all over Texas and compete and go into Louisiana. If you lived in El Paso, you'd probably be competing in New Mexico as well. If you lived on that side where I lived, you'd go into Louisiana and compete, and maybe up in Oklahoma as well. So it was very prominent. Sports of karate like Shotokan, Kyokushin, Judo, Taekwondo, all of the old traditional styles that we used to, that are you know, that now are part of what falls under the umbrella of MMA.
Yes.
But those original 4 or 5 traditional styles were the most prominent in the 70s and 80s before MMA. So we were out there doing it, chasing down the same dream as everyone else. We just wanted to fight, you know.
How many martial arts have you practiced in your life?
Taekwondo, Muay Thai, boxing,
there you go.
Some jiu-jitsu, and I would say a little bit of Hapkido, you know. But
how much jiu-jitsu? Like
with Machado.
Machado?
Higan Machado.
Higan, oh.
Yeah, he's a bro of mine.
My brother from my master.
Yeah,
Jacques
Machado. That's right. No, we trained Keanu Reeves for the John Wick movies. So we had, you know, we trained him with guns and teach him 4 or 5 great throws, teach him a few great transitions, put the guns in with the transition and the throws.
Yes.
And that's where that gunjitsu style of came
Gunjitsu.
about. Yeah, gunjitsu.
It's not easy, right? The transitions. Well, let's go there.
Yeah.
How do you get into the movie world, and especially like that specific area of coordinating those kinds of scenes?
Fights.
That is not easy to fight. It's not easy to duplicate because it has to look like as real as possible, right?
Yeah, no, so one-on-one fighting is always very difficult. And I would tell you boxing might be the hardest one. Because in boxing, you only have 2 weapons.
Yes.
And everyone grew up watching boxing, so you know when it's fake.
Oh,
Like when you have judo, when you throw someone in judo, it's a real throw. They're really hitting the ground. But in a movie, you don't really punch someone in the face. So does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's easier to hide with MMA somebody's inabilities than it is with just boxing.
Oh, okay.
So if you teach them a few things, and also we know how to hide the double, so it's kind of easy to cheat there.
Okay.
But I would tell you, been working in the action movie business since 1990. I got to work in Hong Kong a bunch in the early 90s. I got to go work with like Corey Yun, Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, like all these, the Hong Kong action heroes of the 80s and 70s and 80s and 90s. And learning how they did their wire work. But it wasn't their choreography that was so interesting to me. It's the way they captured it, the way they filmed it, the way they edited it, which always made it interesting. And I think that's kind of like what a good director can do. A good director can take someone who's not great at something. He's like a chef, can take a bad piece of meat and make it taste good. A good director can take someone who's not great at something because he or she understands the filmmaking process and then knows how to make that work for them. So watching the evolution of the way that fighting, do you remember the first triangle ever done in movies? What was it?
Oh, in movies. Oh, you got me. Not in movies. I was immediately, when you said remember the first triangle, my brain started going to Pride and UFC and shit. But in movies,
It's before Pride.
yeah, I know it's gotta be before. I don't know.
Lethal Weapon. Mel Gibson threw one up on.
Thank you.
He threw up a triangle, and when we saw it, this is 1985 or 1984.
And he can slam.
But we were like, what the fuck? Why did he put his dick in his face? We didn't know what it was, but we didn't know what it was.
Putting the balls on the
Yeah, I was
face.
like, what's that all about? But then once you got educated, now the triangle, somebody throws up a triangle, everybody knows what it is.
Oh, look at triangle. Shit.
Yeah, fuck, he's got a triangle choke. He's gonna transition to omoplata. He's gonna transition to armbar.
Yeah.
Everyone knows because everybody watches MMA. Then nobody knew. So I thought that was a great cutting edge move. It was one of the Gracie brothers was training Mel Gibson.
There you go.
And that's what it is. That was the introduction for the official introduction of Hollywood to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Did that get you into the jiu-jitsu world so you can get that as part of the arsenal?
I was completely. It was before I was in the movie business. But I saw it and I was like, wow. It put a question mark in my head.
Of course.
And then when I was in the Army, we were stationed in Korea. We watched a lot of Hong Kong films. We watched a lot of action movies, but we were in the Army. So we were competing at the same time. But when I got out is when I got into the stunt business is when I really started paying attention. What can we do that hasn't been done yet? And, worked as a stunt double for many years as a stunt man, in the Mortal Kombat movies, it was Sub-Zero and Scorpion in number 2 and Johnny Cage's stunt double. So getting to be the performer, and as you get older, you get busted up and you have to learn to make a transition from in front of the camera to behind the camera, and if you don't study the game, like, your bosses here know they got 3 cameras on us, bro. We got 2 singles and 1 2-shot, bro.
Yes.
Like if I was running this, we'd have one more dirty over me onto you and one more dirty over onto you, baby. But that's a whole nother story. We'd have a glass floor and we'd shoot it underneath as well.
Oh,
but
yeah. I can imagine.
But what I'm saying is, like in general, like learning the craft of filmmaking was, I didn't get a chance to go to college. Like a guy that barely graduated from high school, was in the Army, loved to compete. But, being a bit dyslexic too, it was very difficult for me to learn things like that. So I really had to pay attention. So my film school was 32 years of film school in the field. So I'm very grateful.
We're alike.
There
We're
you go.
alike, brother.
Right here. Students of the world, bro.
In my way, I mean, I didn't finish school. I wish I was a lawyer. I think I will be a good lawyer. I was thinking the other day too, should I go back to school? But fuck, I have no time. I want to spend that time with my kids. But in the stuntman, it's a different, completely world, but it's also dangerous, fuck.
Yeah, man.
How dangerous it is.
So
being a stuntman.
So you're going to get hurt every day as a stuntman. Getting hurt, there's 2 versions of this. There's getting hurt, which is a job description. Okay. And then there's getting injured, which means you can't come back to work, means you go into the hospital.
Oh,
stitches or something broken.
Wow.
But once in a while, you're going to risk your life. Like if you miss, you could die. So,
is there like levels
well,
of stunts, like A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, or colors, whatever?
Not really.
This guy is like.
Well, you have specialists in everything. So I work on the Fast and Furious movies with in the driving in those movies is about as real as it gets because it's Fast and Furious. The only way to make it look fast is by going 85, 90 miles an hour.
How was working for Fast and Furious?
It's one of my favorites, bro. Such a wild ride, bro. Like, there's no other movies that are being made now that will let you crash 360 cars.
Oh, what the
movie,
fuck? Say that again.
It's 360. Let me show you. I'll just show you.
You guys crashed 360 cars during the production of that movie?
Always. Like, at least.
Fuck, qué chingón, güey. Imagínense, güey. Qué verguísima, güey.
Check this out. I'm just going to slide this to you so you can get a look at it.
360 carros le dieron en la madre durante la producción de esa película.
And you know what we say when we want to go again? Get us another
really?
car. Get us another car. Sick, huh? It's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy, man. I not even want to think the amount of money that it cost.
Well, I think that
millions
money
and
is
millions.
Yeah, money's not an object to them. It's like there's a standard because they've done 10 of them already. But going back to what's dangerous, you know, like you make a mistake at 80 miles an hour with a motorcycle, that's a fatal mistake. So, you know, it's working with the same people all the time that you know what they will do and you know what they won't do, you know, and you have that same trust. So we're always working on what we call a 3-to-1 safety ratio. So for every action, we put 3 safety measures in place as countermeasures.
Okay.
You know, so that's usually the mantra that we do. But, you know, that's how it goes. Stuntmen, we risk it. Stuntmen and women, we risk it all.
Sometimes 3 is not enough. Accidents happen all the time.
That's what it is. And you know who has it worse than us? Are the females. Because we get to do it with pants and jackets. They're doing it in miniskirts, like getting hit by cars in a miniskirt with high heels. So there's no way to protect themselves.
That's true. And it has to look real.
Yeah.
Right?
Or the audience is going to say,
is there like a specific age of the best stunt movies?
You know, I would say that the drivers is infinite. Because driving...
Yeah, driving is like a different skill, right?
That's right. There's still like some 65-year-old stunt drivers out there that are...
Oh, those gotta be the best ones, maybe.
They're gangsters, bro.
All the shit tricks.
Like they can make them dance, you know, they make the cars dance and shit.
Yeah.
But I would say that, you know, the younger, you know, for the fighting stuff, where it really changed for me was when I went and did a movie called Undisputed 2 in Bulgaria with Scott Adkins and Mike Jai White. So it was supposed to be about MMA in jail, cage fighting, or fighting in jail, no holds barred fighting in jail. It's just like 2003, I think we did this movie, and we shot it in 28 days. It was a low budget, and we shot it in Bulgaria. But that movie really inspired something in me because I got to direct the action for the first time. You know, the director says, "No, you're directing this," and we worked on it together. But that gave me a lot of confidence in myself to direct, and that was the beginning of this journey on trying to being a second unit director, like taking more responsibility for developing the action. Coordinating the action, choreographing the action, shooting the action, cutting the action, like literally shooting a stunt viz for proof of concept, then shooting and cutting the actual footage as proof of execution. And it wasn't until we did a movie called Warrior in 2010, was with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. It was a lot of UFC fighters were in it. Did you see this movie?
What was the name?
Warrior.
Maybe.
It's an MMA movie. It was
maybe.
Yeah.
Especially if it was one of the first one back then in 2010.
When you get a chance, check it out because we tried to keep it as legit as we could.
Right now you can see all those MMA moves more on the
right.
Mostly of the MMA action fights.
That's right.
But before it wasn't that common.
We had Greg Jackson from Jackson Winklejohn, who's an old friend of mine, come out and help us like set all that up. He's an old bro.
Yes, a great coach.
He's an encyclopedia. You know,
from
martial
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
We're the same age as well, so we go back. We have the same kind of lineage. Like, you know, like I said, what I was saying before about martial artists from my era was we were searchers. You know, we didn't know what was the best until you. I remember the first time I saw UFC, I was like, holy shit, this changes everything.
Back then, there wasn't enough data for
there
you
wasn't.
You have to maybe create your own stuff.
That's right.
Maybe? How do you do it?
Well, we just, you know, like, for me, when I saw the first UFC, it was a big wake-up call. You know, it was like, oh shit, like that back kick isn't going to get me out of that takedown, you know? And I'm going to have this guy, this gorilla beating on me, he's laying on top of me, choking me. So it was a big wake-up call for all of us from traditional martial arts. And I'm super stoked to see the way that martial arts has evolved. You know, like, I think if it wasn't for MMA, everybody would kind of still be in the dark. You know, I think that they can do MMA. There's some ways that they can make it cooler as well for the kids. You know, sending a good message as well.
Yes.
I think it's important because kids watch that for their, you know, because they want role models. And having the wrong role model, there are wrong role models out there. And I feel like just, you know, being the right kind of role model is important for any star or actor, but it's not for me to tell somebody how to be.
But there's levels, you know, when I see, you know, the conversation we have it about, you know, Fast and Furious, John Wick. Do we have the link that Jorge sent you to? Can you please put it on? I have a few questions. You know, it's, for me as a fan, just like a movie fan, it's like check it out. How was to work with Keanu Reeves?
So Keanu Reeves is one of my favorite guys to ever work with. Him and Jamie Foxx are, you know, I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of great, talented people, men and women. But Keanu has a special place. I've known him for a long time, and he's a really down-to-earth guy, hard worker, embraces everything, but he's like one of those guys that would be here with us right now, kicking it, you know, like he's just a dude. At the end of the day, you know, he's not you speak to him, he's just like a regular guy. Jamie Foxx is like that as well.
Wow.
I mean, it's a pleasure. Look, I'm grateful to be able to work with any of these guys, my friend, because Vic, I never thought I'd be doing any of this. When I got out of the Army, I thought, I'm going to be a stuntman, and I'm going to fuck this up for sure, and I'll be back in the Army in no time. So everything that I've done in the last 32 years has been like winning the lotto, but Reeves is like winning the lotto over and over again, and so is Fox.
Johnny Wick, si vieron la película, obviamente saben qué rollo con Keanu Reeves. Este cabrón que está aquí es el que le ayudó a coordinar todo eso para sus películas, que sabemos que Keanu Reeves es un perfeccionista. ¿Es Keanu Reeves a perfectionist about his skills and everything? Because
100%. It's okay, baby, I got you. I understand. Entiendes.
A ver, ya aquí también, ahí está. He's doing some jiu-jitsu because I like a lot that he comes from Machado.
Machado style.
My lineage from John Jacques Machado, Eddie Bravo, Masta. Yo soy el coyote. Why do they call you a loco? Loco or loco?
Loco.
Okay.
Because I used to like to scrap. You know.
Oh,
I used to like to scrap when I was a kid.
Tira acá.
Mira.
Loco.
Yeah. I used to like to scrap when I was a kid. So that was, that's why they call me Loco. Like
Loco since you were a kid, and then you like it. Did you do yourself as well as stunt, or you just coordinate? Or?
No, I was a stuntman for 20 years. I've been busted.
How you get started.
I've been busted up proper. You know, like now I'm paying for it. I need to get this replaced. I need my shoulder replaced. My neck's all fucked up. I got all my teeth knocked out. I've been busted up proper.
Do you have a clue how many injuries you have? Like 10 serious ones?
Well, I mean, I've been knocked out about 14 times, but out. Like from some of the big car jumps, like where you wake up and you're like...
What's the worst one that you have in mind? You don't remember?
Well, no, yes, I jumped a car in Mexico on a movie called Get the Gringo, and I got knocked out jumping that car. And I didn't remember how I got upside down. I was in the car and the seat still upside down with the belt strapped in.
Fuck.
And all my homies came and pulled me out of there and like, chingon ese. And I was like, was he good, man?
Loco. ¿Qué pasó?
Yeah, man.
Wow. And then, how was the transition from doing that to directing now, Day Shift? Señoras y señores, la trayectoria de este señor es muy impresionante porque después de haber hecho todo eso, ahora viene como director de Day Shift. I want you to talk about Day Shift.
Man, so I was really happy. Just, you know, like I said, I never expected any of this. So being a director would never really occurred to me. You know, It was always like, I'm just grateful to be a stuntman.
It wasn't your goal.
Man, I was just happy to do what I was doing. And then, you know, I went from being a stuntman to being a fight coordinator, being a stunt coordinator, being a second unit director. So I was already directing action. I was directing huge sequences. And then after John Wick 2, a lot of people started coming to me with scripts and say, hey, you should direct. Why don't you do another John Wick movie? I say, well, we already did John Wick movies. Well, why don't you do, you know, we were in the Army. Why don't you do a sniper with PTSD? And I said, I don't want to make dark material. Like the world is dark enough right now, don't you think? You know, you can put on CNN or Fox and want to hang yourself. Like I don't want to watch the news anymore because the world is weird, man. We got COVID and World War III, and I wanted to do something. If I was going to do something, it had to be something fun. And the movies that I grew up with were like Lost Boys, Big Trouble in Little China, Evil Dead, Fright Night, action, comedy, horror. So now you get the audience, they're like, whoa, from the action. They laugh from the comedy, and they jump from the horror. So now you're hitting every emotion. You know, you're kind of like holding the strings of a puppet, playing them the way you want to play them. And I thought that was, for me, that script really spoke to me. When I read it, I immediately knew, I said, I'd like to direct this movie. I got it. It was brought to me by Yvette Yates, who's actually from El Paso, and Sean Reddick.
That's where I'm going.
That's my
Yvette.
sister, mi hermana.
And
they've been really big advocates of me for a long time and really had my back for a long time and, you know, encouraging me to direct. So they brought me that script about 3.5 years ago. I worked on it for a year with the writer. They allowed me a lot of latitude and set with me and just allowed me to develop it and make it as much of my own as I could. And strangely, when I was doing Fast and Furious 9 in London, Chad Stahelski, the director of John Wick 3, was there with Reeves promoting John Wick 3. We go out, we're drinking, we're hanging out, and Chad told me, and he's the guy that I started in the stunt business with, the guy who directed Wick. He said, hey, do you have anything? Netflix is coming at me with a first look deal. And I said, well, funny you should ask that. And I slid it across the table, and I said, check it out.
Perfect timing.
And by the time he got back to LA, he wrote it on the plane home, and he read it on the plane home, and he said, we're making this movie, and 2 weeks later, we were greenlit.
Hell yeah.
That's the way it happened, dude. So grateful, like my buddy Chad for greenlighting it. Netflix, thank you for greenlighting my movie and giving me a shot at the title. Yvette Yates and Sean Reddick, thank you so much for believing in me, and here we are. And then, like, getting the movie for me wasn't the big win. It was getting Jamie Foxx was the big win, because he's like such an impressive
What about
dude.
Snoop Dogg? And
dude,
then
so listen,
Snoop Doggy.
I didn't hire Snoop Dogg. I hired Calvin Broadus to
But he's
play.
there.
Yeah, but I didn't want Snoop in my movie. I didn't want somebody to look at it and go, holy shit, Snoop. I would put a cowboy hat, I put a duster,
I know what you're
and I
saying.
wanted him to. So strangely, Snoop and I have something in common. Both of our fathers were in the military, and they both were in Vietnam. So Snoop's father being in Vietnam, we start talking about it. We have this common thread, and I was like, I want you to play your dad, and I don't want you to be Snoop Dogg. And he loved that, because I think everyone hires him to be him.
Exactly.
And it was giving him something more meat on the bone.
That's really smart. I like that a lot.
And he told me, I want to be an action star. I said, well, Bubba, I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to make you shine,
Please,
bro.
don't be yourself.
No.
Like, give me something different.
That's right. That's right.
That's fucking cool, man.
Check it out, dude. Have you seen?
I will, for sure. And then this shout out goes from Dream Entertainment from El Paso. How you pronounce Yvette last name?
Yates.
Yates.
Impossible
Yates.
Dream.
Impossible Dream.
Impossible
Dream del Paso, Texas, donde está haciendo un calor de la chingada y está sudando JJ como loco. Pero ni pedo, estamos teniendo una buena entrevista. I know you're sweating. Sorry about the,
It's okay, Papa.
the conditioning.
Don't
but
worry, baby.
I
It's
know
all
you're a
good.
warrior,
It's El
man.
Paso, baby.
Oh, it's El Paso.
This
you know,
is
this-
my
this
native
kind of
climate.
the-
This is my native climate. I
It's
love
the
it.
Sun City.
I thrive in it.
I'm comfortable with this. Actually, we're receiving support from the local businesses like National Furniture, Shorty, gracias carnal, and seeing this from Yvette Yates and all this going through the major leagues.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit more about the movie going on.
So the movie takes place in the San Fernando Valley, which is one of the first places I moved to when you've been out to LA, right?
I used to live there for 10 years.
So you know all about the Valley.
Yes,
when I
sir.
moved to the Valley, I didn't have any money. I got out of the Army, and it's
It
kind
was
of
me. It was me too.
You know what it is?
2009. Hey.
But you know what it is? You're in the 818. You ain't got no damn money. You're staying in an apartment with a
818.
bunch of your homeboys. Like there's
I feel
6
you.
of you. You know what it is? And so the Valley for me was this exotic, cool blend of cultures and places and smells and sounds. And you could go somewhere and you can smell Indian food, and then there would be Korean food and,
Right across
and
the street.
tacos, and it's a beautiful medley of California.
That was
to
a
me.
panorama city, I guess.
You see, bro. This is my movie takes place in Reseda.
Reseda,
Yeah, like
right
Kar-
next to
like
it.
Karate Kid.
Yeah, like Karate
That's
Kid.
right, that's right.
When I was watching Karate Kid, Tori told me, hey, Reseda, because Tori grew up there.
Yeah.
And then Banais is the capital of porn or whatever the fuck
That's
they
right.
call it, right?
That's right.
Banais, hey. So, yeah. What else on this movie calls your attention, and how was it to work with these two celebrities?
So what it was it's a movie about a man trying to keep his family together.
Because now you're directing.
That's right.
Is it a different world, totally different world?
Well, so
Because you understand
yeah.
cinema.
So yeah, when I got the script and I developed it, I made all the characters as much like me as I could. Like Jamie's character's like me. He has a 9-year-old or 10-year-old daughter in the
Okay.
movie. I made him like me. Like he gets in over his head all the time, but he's tough enough to get himself out. I made Snoop Dogg, as an homage to my old platoon sergeant or some of the bros I served with in the Army that I loved, that are always there, that always have your back no matter what, never judge. And then and the boss of the union was a lot like some of the studio executives that I might have worked with in the past. No one in Netflix though. Just kidding.
It's coming out soon. What's the date?
August 12th.
August 12th?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try to get this ready before August 12th. If not, for sure the clip where you guys going to be able to watch what this guy's producing now as a director.
Nice, man.
What are your expectations, brother?
So, I come into this very, very open-hearted and open-minded. Like I did my best, and I'm super proud of it, and I hope the world likes it. I think that the world is There's not too many other things out there like it. Like Zombieland is a bit like it, but I think we crush them in the action.
I want to ask you that. In Mexico, we have the chupacabras, Dia de los Muertos, all that stuff, right? But for some reason, right now, the zombies goes alive. So nice there are different levels of zombies presentation.
Well, mine aren't zombies.
What is this?
Vampires.
Oh.
You know, you lived in LA. There's a lot of vampires in LA, bro. You know how it is.
Yes.
There's a lot. Most of them are on Wilshire
I
Boulevard.
hear some stories from there.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of vampires there, baby.
So my girlfriend is going to like this one. So tell me a little bit more about the movie. Can you?
Yes. So it's
Tease it.
It takes place in the Valley. It's about a man who's working hard as a pool cleaner, but has a part-time job as a vampire hunter because they've monetized the teeth. In other words, when you kill a vampire, you take their teeth and you can sell them at the union for a certain price.
Oh, okay.
So there's one side of the story, a man trying to keep his family together, and the other side is a vampire, a boss vampire, seeking revenge. Because in the beginning of the movie, I don't want to do any spoiler alerts. The beginning of the movie, something happens where she needs to take revenge. And it's a collision course between Jamie Foxx's character and Carlos Sousa's character at the end. And it's a funny, wacky ride with Snoop Dogg and Dave Franco along for the ride.
How long did it take to make this movie?
I shot the movie in 42 days with no second unit, which is
What the fuck?
which is pretty fast. But we were
It
very
sounds crazy to me. I have no clue, to be honest. But it sounds really fast.
Yeah, man, it was super fast. I mean, it's faster than anything that I've worked on. Typically, I come in as a second unit director on shows that have 65 days, and then I get 25 days, so that's 90 days to shoot a movie. We shot our whole movie in 42 days.
Is this the first one you direct?
The first one that I directed, the first unit. So I direct a lot of action.
Okay. Oh,
But
I know what
so
you're
when
saying.
I don't know if you know what this is, but second unit in the big movies, the director of the movie director doesn't direct the action. He directs the dialogue. And then there's a separate unit that does the car chases, the fighting, and I usually direct that.
That's what I want to learn from an
Okay.
expert.
Okay.
The movies I know the beginning and at the end I see the credits.
That's
That's
right.
the order I know. Photography,
That's right.
music, some basic stuff that people knows. But those little things is the things that I want the people in Mexico, Latin
Okay.
America to learn maybe from the movies.
So there's always a director. When you have a huge budget movie, let's use Fast and Furious, for
And
example.
the difference between producer and director, later you tell me as
Exactly. So the producer is the one who organizes everything, gets the script, hires a director, they hire a cast and a crew, they oversee it. The director is the one that deals directly with the crew and the cast in painting the picture of the movie. He's the artist that paints the picture that is the movie. So that's the first unit director. So let's use Fast and Furious for an example. It's huge. So it's a big, massive thing with a lot of actors so you have a unit that's just doing all of the dialogue and drama. Then there's another unit. Let's say there's a unit in London doing that. There's another unit in Thailand doing a big car chase over there.
Okay.
And maybe there's another unit in Scotland doing a whole parkour chase in Scotland. Then we all come back together, and then we blend what we've done. Then we all go out and do our own next sequence again. So when you're making these type of big action movies, the director just doesn't have time to do everything. Not that they couldn't, but that's kind of our specialty is just action. And I would tell you, my friend, just so you know, Vic, I think it's infinitely harder to lock up Edinburgh, Scotland, or Mexico City and do a massive car chase with 15 cars and 6 motorcycles and 2 helicopters and explosions than it is to direct a scene with you and me talking at this table right now.
Wow.
I think it's infinitely harder. And as directing a film, I can speak to that with some experience. I can say that is confirmed. It was easier for me. I think it would be hard if I didn't have good actors. But because Jamie Foxx was so good and Snoop was so good and Dave Franco was so good and Carla and my whole cast was amazing, all I had to do was say action and cut.
Oh, yeah.
And then-
it may be easier, but what about the responsibility when you fucked up in a scene and there's I have to redo it again?
Well, so I think it's let me use this as an example. You fuck up in an action scene, somebody gets killed. That's way more pressure than fucking up and having to redo it.
Nah,
So
eso está más de
when
la
you
verga.
look at it like that, it's kind of like, it's almost easy to direct. The hardest part about directing for me was getting the opportunity. And I'm super grateful for it. I never thought,
congratulations,
but
man.
Thank you, but I never thought it would happen. The hardest part was getting somebody to let me do it.
Yeah, you gain it. You
Yeah,
gain it.
well, I'm grateful, super grateful.
Yeah, it's honesto. I like that. I mean, maybe you don't want to say it, but you can by experience.
Yeah.
I would say that, and somehow maybe people feel that from you and
Yeah.
this position that you gain in life.
Yeah.
Now the question may be, You want to do another one?
You know I do, baby. You know I'm trying to get that money now, bro. Daddy needs, I got
That's
10-year-old
number
little girl,
one.
baby.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
I was going to get a part-time job hunting vampires, but they're all gone. Jamie killed them all.
Yeah, it's interesting speaking about vampires, man. But I can't wait to watch the movie. This podcast TV, Roman Tori, are we good on time, all cameras? I want to see before you go, we're not leaving yet, but can you share one of the basic moves? Because that was one of my dreams, to be on the movie, like doing like one of those like...
Can you play the clip from the do you have the trailer?
Absolutely.
Why don't you pick one of those moves and tell me which one you want to do?
Oh, fuck. That's,
Mira,
that's,
tell
that's
me,
super
you
cool.
tell me.
Tori,
Campechano.
corre cámara. Let's see. Vamos a ver ahora el tráiler de su película. Fíjense bien quién sale. ¡Oh, la música! Murder was the case that they gave me. Right?
That's right, brother.
Fuck yeah. Oh, my God.
What are you doing in my room?
Ooh. A la ver.
Vampire hunting is a business. Cut necks and cash your checks.
Está super pinche pistola, güey.
Your legs again.
And the union is the only place that can give me that kind of money. Your record is chock full of incidents. But he's a new man. One last chance. This is your final warning. Let's get crazy.
A ese no. Se me va a chingar la espalda. Oh.
Listen, you did. You know what I see when I see a van? Big old dollar sign. Hey, don't you puke again. Squad.
Here you go.
Vampires. They live amongst us. And all they are is murderers. Does not eclipse, new moon, breaking down point one. It ain't like that, all right?
Why do you know the names to all the specific Twilight films? And what's your gripe that Breaking Dawn Part 2 is the exciting conclusion of the whole Twilight saga?
Welcome to the day shift, motherfucker. Works every time.
There you go, brother. Come on, man.
¡Ah, qué audiencia, audiencia, chingado! Que se oiga ese aplauso. Ay, venga,
That's good.
Mayela,
Come on,
venga,
papi.
Mayela, ven, mamacita. ¿Te gustó? Day Shift, 12 de agosto. Se ve súper verga la película. Bro, are you kidding me?
Come on, baby.
Is this real?
Yeah, bro.
I'm getting
I
this
can't believe
interview
it.
with
I
you.
can't believe it.
And give this. Let me shake your hand, brother.
Come on. Come on.
Thank you so much. No, thank you, bro. Thank you so much. For me, it's an honor to see, people like you doing these things for the planet, for the world, and then non-stop working, man. I like your ethics. We just barely met, but I can feel your good vibes.
Me too.
I can
Good for
feel
you
your
too,
good
brother.
energy and passion to do what you love to do.
We're cut from the same wood, little brother.
Oh, thank you so much. Same God. So, antes de despedirnos, before I say goodbye, I want to see a few moves that I watched there, or you teach me some basic. We have this specific area, 25 by 25 competition area.
Okay.
But tell me, what's the most basic, or is there any more like levels?
So I will tell you, what I used for the vampires, I used contortionists and mixed it. Like if you watch the movie, you'll see crucifixes, a lot of chest control, switching directions,
Yes.
rolling for the crucifix, top position, bottom position. But then we fold them off using the contortionist, shooting in reverse. A lot of lucha libre. I mean, you'll see it right away.
Lucha Libre,
Yeah.
cinta de oro. Carnal, luego practicamos algo. I have this friend called Cinta de Oro.
It's my fave, bro. I love Lucha Libre.
He's our Lucha Libre representative of Master Beat Podcast TV.
Dude, I'm so
Former Sin Cara.
I love it. I mean, it's one of my faves because it's the luchadors. That's live show. That's not like in the movies where you can stop and go again. They do it in front of everyone.
We just went to Juarez.
No way.
On Father's Day
Uh-huh.
with my father, my parents, and my kids and everybody.
Uh-huh.
It was amazing, like a theater.
Yeah.
Like a theater, like a real.
It's some of my favorite. Like when I worked in Mexico on Get the Gringo on that movie with Mel Gibson, I went and watched the Blue Demon.
Yeah.
But it's 10 years ago or 11 years ago.
Yeah.
But I really like just watch them all work, and it's amazing to watch them work. Huge fans, huge mega athletes, super great performers. You know, because it's live show, so you can't make mistakes. You know, so for me, that's next level. It's like in competition, it's not choreographed, it's not rehearsed. But in Lucha Libres, you kind of know who's going to win and going to lose, but you have to present it in a way to make it interesting for the audience. So it's next level performance for me.
For the people that wants to see more about you or follow you on social media, where they can find you?
JJ Loco Perry.
JJ Loco Perry. Si quieren seguir a este maestro de maestros, fíjense, John Wick, Fast and Furious. Tell me a little more before we go of the biggest projects you have been.
So I just got off this movie called Blue Beetle, which is the first Latino superhero from DC Comics and Warner Brothers. I just shot on that for about 3 months in Puerto Rico, in Atlanta. I got back last week, and then I did another one called Murder Mystery 2 recently. And do you know who Lauren Avedon is? He used to be from King of the Kickboxers.
Yes.
That's him right there. You want to say hi real quick?
A ver, let me
Hold
see.
on a second, Lauren. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Doug, hang on a second. Hey, I'm on a podcast real quick. This is Lauren Avedon, King of the Kickboxers.
How do you do, my friend? Victor Davila right here. Good to see you, brother. I have this guy's loco. This guy's really loco, but he's a good man.
I hit you back, homie. All right, later. Love you too. My brother.
On that industry, I can imagine how many names and celebrities you know at this point, right?
You know, for me, it's been, like I said, it's been a real honor and a pleasure. Like I didn't expect any of it. So, you know, coming to Hollywood with not a lot of belief, like, you know, look, a lot of people took a lot of chances on me. You know, like my wife has been my biggest advocate because she believed in me when nobody else did, not even me. So she saw something in me and she helped me through a lot of times. And I'm super grateful for all of this and all the people that I've worked with. And, you know, it's been a real pleasure. You know, I think when people come to Hollywood with expectations, becomes the boulevard of broken dreams. But when you don't come with a lot of expectations, anything you get's good, right? So that's kind of my outlook on it all.
Hi, sir. Next time we're gonna have a better air conditioner
It's okay,
here. You're
bro.
not gonna be sweaty.
No, man, it's all good.
Before you go, I want to say everybody thank you. August 12th. Don't miss the premiere of Day Shift. Where they can watch it?
Netflix.
En Netflix.
Netflix, bro. Check it out, y'all.
La
I'm super
verga.
stoked to see for everybody
En
to
la
see it.
Netflix. Si la puedes ver en Netflix, está cabrón. You know, if you hear Netflix, it's gotta be big.
That's
thing.
right. That's right.
That's what I know.
That's right.
JJ, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for
brother.
coming.
Thank you, hermano.
Let's pass to the competition
Let's do it.
and confrontation area
Okay.
to learn a little bit. Just one thing from you,
Okay.
so I can say that I learned from the guy that did from Fast and Furious and John
My
Wick and
crystal
Day
ball
Shift.
says I'm going to teach him how to throw a narabon. Because it's all I got left. My crystal
It tells you. Go. Yeah, that's what it. Okay.
That's all right.
Vamos a pasar acá. No se pierdan nuestro contenido. Master Beat Podcast TV. Invitado especial. Seguimos y ahora me voy a transformar.
Okay, let's have one. Come on, let's go.
That was cool, man.
All right, come on. There it is. Pivot look kick. You got it.
That's not fair. That's not fair. You see that? These guys are so badass.
Little old man. Come on. So right foot in front. Pivot look, then kick. So it's look. That's it.
Right foot in front.
Yep. Pivot. What? That is. One more time. One more time.
Okay. I switch.
Yeah. And then what? And think about your leg. Mira. Don't think about your swinging club.
Okay.
Think about your latigo.
Okay.
See? Latigo.
Can you do it again?
Yeah, yeah.
Me va a poner en ridículo bien cabrón. Dude, you're, ¿cómo se dice? Embarrassing me.
No, papi, no.
No, let's do just one. One question.
Yeah, yeah.
When you go like this, you go that opposite. Okay.
Okay. Is that the way you go?
So take a look.
pretend
So
like
now we have the cameras. So if you're standing this way, now do it. The camera sees you miss me. So wait. Now do this over the left shoulder. Bring it from my right shoulder across my left shoulder. Looks like you hit me, doesn't it? Now watch this. Same. Now throw it from here to here. Looks like you hit me, doesn't it?
Now you hit me. You hit me now.
Boom! Oh, easy. Suavecito.
And then hit me again.
And then uppercut. And one. My brother, we're ready for us.
Thank you so much.
Nice pleasure, bro. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's take the picture right here.
Let's do it. Nice.
This is my two masters right here. Master Rafael Cordero, Master Eddie Bravo. Always paid up.
Respect.
All my respect to my master, and you are a master now, my master on this.
I can't believe I won.
And you still got people out there with double masks and face shields and shit. Look into it.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
Haga rendir su dinero en Natural Furniture Liquidators, porque tenemos muchos muebles en existencia y todos con enormes descuentos. Sofás en diferentes colores desde solo $298. Centros de entretenimiento empezando desde $198. Además, la venta de limpia de colchones con descuentos de hasta el 70% y opciones de financiamiento sin importar su crédito. Muebles en existencia a precios insuperables. Solo en Natural Furniture Liquidators. Cuando se trate de precio, calidad y selección,
nadie le gana a Shorty.